Hey, what's up guys? Dart Goblin is getting a big 8% damage buff and darting up the charts to become one of the best ranged damage dealers in the game. After the balance changes, you'll be big brain bringing this mortar bait deck into your deck arsenal. You have to assume opponents will play arrows. If you don't have enough bait, you're never gonna get value with your Dart Goblin. This deck has stacks of swarm cards so your opponents can never keep up with their spells. Even if they relinquish spells to remove your rascals, bats, or skeleton army, skeletons will rise up again with the Skeleton King ability. Let's dart into some games, blow our opponents away, and assert dominance. And big Dart Goblin love to everyone that's supporting the channel with creator code SirTag. He's kind of like Cupid, but shooting good luck to you in all of your matches. All right, we got a game against someone with a 3-crown banner, and hopefully he's foreshadowing the future. You already know we're gonna be cycling our bats in the back first play to spam towards the evolution, and then we can go for a skeleton barrel. It's not gonna reach the tower, so it's better for us to go for a mortar. You can go for skeleton barrel maybe after the Dagger Duchess gets the nerf, but since it hasn't went into effect right now. Oh wait, wow, we got a mortar shot on the tower. That was so unexpected. I was just commentating over that because I was like, there's nothing that's going to happen here. Oh, the Skeleton King! There's no way! How is that splashing through the river? Okay, now he's not doing it anymore, but he did before. That was insane. He's got the biggest broom in existence. That was insane. Oh my gosh, the Firecracker is going to die? The Dart Goblin's still alive? Dart Goblin, I guess you're buffed already, man. Your brain got a buff. That's just stupid. I can't believe we already took a tower. This deck isn't even supposed to be that broken right now. And we're wrecking people in the span of under a minute? Yo, easy win already.
That was easy.
The start was startling. How many interactions went in our favor? Everything that could have went well for us, while our opponent was drastically confused, having units that didn't deserve to die getting erased from existence. All right, this guy's got P.E.K.K.A in the banner. So you already know if he's going to be spamming adventurously into a whole bunch of bait cards, probably not going to work out so well for him. He's got the sword, but his utensils are not strong enough to cut through our skeletons. So I'm going to go in for our Skeleton King right now. I think it's ideal for me to go and unleash the rascals. The reason is, obviously, I want to be able to capitalize on killing all of his stuff and do dual lane pressure. That is what we like. And if we're using rascals plus Skeleton King, we're going to force out answers to our bait cards on both sides. He's going to have to drop his poison there, but then he has no other answers for the rascals. Look at that. And they do a deceptive amount of damage. It's insidious when you see little rascals riled up, strutting towards your tower. Sometimes you're just like, I don't feel like responding. And if you don't, you lose half of your tower before you even know what hit you. I'm going to go in for our skeleton barrel, and then I guess it kind of sticks with you too, because the bubblegum sticks a ton of damage on the tower. It's weird because you wouldn't expect bubblegum to do that amount of damage. The girl rascals are so strong. It's funny because people thought they were a really bad card when they got buffed because Golden Knight was in the meta. And then Golden Knight got nerfed, and then everyone forgot that rascals got buffed, and no one revisited playing it because it died to Electric Giant, it died to Golden Knight, and there's like, this card got buffed, but there's no practical way of using it in the meta. But sometimes cards can be incredibly good, like the rascals or the Skeleton King, but they're more niche. The Skeleton King only works with specific bait cards. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to use its ability. Rascals, they have a 2-for-1 card combination where they're basically like forcing yourself to go and plop the, I guess, Little Prince ability, but you're not getting the rollout effect, and you are forced to drop it for 1 less elixir. So I think it's pretty good from that decision. I think like, hey, I mean, it does die to arrows, so I guess it's not as broken as what the Little Prince was, and it is way more situational, but the Little Prince is going to get a nerf. The rascals might be your replacement. They're kind of fun. At least in this deck, that's the way that I see it. So I'm going to go in for a mortar, and then the Dart Goblin finished off the tower somehow. Oh my gosh. Say less. You know what? I'm going to bait him. He's going to drop things in the middle, and then the mortar's going to be able to hit it. The mortar might still hit the tower. It does. It worked. He fell for the bait. There's no way. So that mortar was only able to target the right-hand tower. But because he dropped cards to counter things, the mortar is actually shooting stuff. That mortar is a mad lad. I cannot believe that that worked out as well as we wanted it to. Every single play is coming out perfect for us. And you know what? I might be able to snag the last tower here. I'm going to go for a fireball on top of the skeleton barrel so we can hit the skeletons as they pop, so we can keep our mortar in pristine PSA 10 condition. And then I think we melt it with the last shot. 2-0 victory. This deck is clapping our opponent, which inspired the opponent to give us a clapping emote for a fitting end. Yo, this guy's got the Golden Knight banner. You know what? It doesn't even matter if you have Golden Knight. Our rascals will run away. I'm going to go for a mortar first play, and the cool thing about this deck is, oh wow, we're going right into a Rail Giant, which is usually the kryptonite to mortar and expo because, you know, the siege cards get damaged from something that is across the river, and usually you're like, hey, I want to damage everything across the river myself, but they just do it a little bit better with higher firepower from that Royal Giant. I'm going to go for a fireball here so we can guarantee to extinguish the giant skeleton, please. Yo, is the Dart Goblin speedy enough to run away? There's no way. That was beautiful. Demolition Derby against Demo. He wasn't ready. He learned something new. We are showing him a demo of demolishing everything he owns. So, you know, in the real game, as we start to ramp up, it's not just going to be a trial run. We'll wreck you, my guy. We're going to go in for a skeleton army here because we know the fisherman will lock onto the skeletons instead of hitting the tower. So even if the fisherman locks onto a building or it locks onto a tower, it'll never hit the tower or the building guaranteed. It'll just hit whatever is in front of that. So that's what you want to do. If you don't know, now you know. And we're going to activate King Tower because the Dart Goblin's speedy as heck. I love that interaction. I think the Dart Goblin, once you learn interactions with it, it unlocks firepower that you're not really understanding. Like, I don't think it would have gotten a buff if people actually knew how to play the card. But because it's a very high skill cap card, a lot of newbies that play it just drop it into bad things and they're like, wait, it just dies to arrows, it never gives value. But if you're dropping it far enough away, it can snipe little princes, it outranges little princes. You can like drop your Dart Goblin where I'm hovering my Skeleton King, and then it will kill little prince on the other side, and then the little prince won't even be able to target it or see it. I love doing that. I think I want to go in for the Skeleton King here. This is what I was talking about earlier. Having a 2-cycle on the mortar and a 2-cycle on the bats at the same time, usually it allows you to go in for 2 cards at the same time that both are evolved to increase your damage output at a really, really good moment. Because if both cards are capable of being evolved at the same time, then you get the power spike at that one moment. So then it's way more scary for the opponent. Because like one evolution, if they're not paying track to the card cycle, they're usually fine. But if there's 2 evolutions that come down at the same time, that's where the game starts to become out of control. So we want to make sure that we coincide both of our evolutions at the same moment, I think. I think that's how we're going to maximize our utility here. I'm going to pop a Skeleton King and a Bats on the right-hand side. And one of the issues with our deck, I'm not going to lie, is playing into people that have Firecracker. Firecracker is a card that I don't like to play into, because if you look at our deck, we don't have arrows. We generally have to Fireball it. I do think, oh wow, he's got arrows for our Dart Goblin too. He's just not a very nice dude for us to play into. This is probably one of the worst matchups we could have got, but we're still winning it right now. That's kind of cool. Let's go for dual lane pressure. Let's pop through with a Bats here, and then let's go in for a Skeleton King. I was thinking about going Bats and Dart Goblin, actually, and then I stopped myself. I was really wanting to do it, honestly. Thought it was a good decision for a second. Anyway, we want to go for Rascals here, so the mortar doesn't get destroyed. And then I think that everything gets pulled away, so the Firecracker doesn't hit what he wants. Should be able to Fireball on all this stuff, and then go for a Dart Goblin here, and not lose the game. But I'm sure you guys noticed how sketchy that was. It's just kind of annoying because we don't have cards that are capable of going and breaking through a Royal Giant when it's evolved, because a lot of our cards will just die like skeletons. So, you know, not ideal. Not ideal playing into someone like this. We're probably going to have to pop the ability here so the Skeleton King can tank for the Dart Goblin. Our mission is to have the Dart Goblin win us the game. So we're just going to spam on the left-hand side and then trying to get either Dart Goblin on the tower. We cycled 2 of them miraculously on the map. Now he has to pick where he wants to lose. He's cycling the arrows, and he got pierced down by the Dart Goblin on the right. You saw it here first. In the Clash Royale world, arrows are simply inferior to darts. We are rolling through the meta right now. I really thought his name was going to be Dr. Seuss, and I was going to start rhyming. You already know, guys, whenever we play against someone named Doctor, they're probably a pretty sophisticated sir. And he also had Mega Knight in the banner, so there's both ends of the spectrum. Is he going to be a delinquent? Or it's going to be a dominant individual that's supremely sophisticated to the point that he understands every meticulous interaction and crafts this incredible deck that I've never seen before. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So we're going to try to use the Dart Goblin to lock onto the Firecracker ideally, but unfortunately it springs onto the Mega Knight instead. So now I think we're better off just going in for a Rascals here. Unfortunately they will die, but you know, it is what it is. Firecrackers are abundant. We played against one in the last game, and we matched into it again. I think at lower ladder, everyone runs Firecracker. So if you wanted to play this at a lower level of gameplay, maybe put in the arrows instead of the Fireball, and then you'll beat all the Firecracker decks without as many problems. But I'm also showing you guys what happens if you match into Firecracker and you don't have the optimal version to play into it. So, you know, at least you can learn something from this maybe. Oh, the balloon damage didn't even kill the Dart Goblin. That means we get one shot on the tower. Furnace! There's no way! That is the worst card in the game. Legitimately. I'm not even joking. B-Rad named an account, pick Furnace equals free win. And no one played Furnace. And he never gave out free wins. He would have given out a free win here. He would have had to change his name. That would have been so funny. Well, anyway. I cannot believe that we matched into it. Every spawner in the meta is awful because if you look at it, the Fire Spirits die to the tower. So he's dropping a 4 elixir card that gives him negative passive income. Negative 4 elixir. Imagine. You're getting no utility out of a card that you're dropping. It just feels awful. And you know that it's going to be a bad utility even when you're dropping it. Oh my gosh, the skeletons are screaming at that Dagger Duchess. She is not having a good time. Seeing little skeletons swarm her and just be so noisy and annoying. All right, I want to go in for maybe Rascals here so then we can block. So notice how the Mega Knight's not able to splash onto anything that he wants. Oh, never mind. Notice how it did. Joke's on me, I guess, Tornado. Thanks for smiling at me. We're going to use the personification for the Tornado because it definitely deserves it. It's grinning. It's evil. It's sinister. All right. I'm kind of torn on if I want a Fireball here or not. Oh my gosh. Never mind. Every interaction that we do always works out. Why do I ever doubt myself? We always get lucky. Every time. It's video luck or something, guys. I don't know. Just clipped a freaking Furnace with that Fireball that I didn't deserve to hit. All right. So I'm going to go for Rascals. He used his Tornado. And so he's got a random Mega Knight in the deck. I know he's going to probably drop that at every ability, every time that he can. You want to go in for the Mortar so he's not able to as effectively as he wants. For a Fireball on top of the Firecracker, which again, usually you don't want to do. You're almost always better off not doing that. Usually you want to go in for arrows on that, and it's just a better trade. I go in for bats, and we're also going to hit up the balloon with the Dart Goblin. And then I think we can maybe slime our opponent here. He's going to get one hit, hopefully not two. Yeah, Dart Goblin just does so much damage even before the buff. When it does 8% more damage, y'all will be feeling the ramifications of that way more. Oh, he got so lucky. Yo, that's actually pure luck. Not even a fib, that's just pure luck. He's going to Mega Knight on this. So we're going to go in for bats and make a prediction. Okay. Never mind, I guess we made a prediction on that. It's all good, my dude. Dart Goblin will be able to kill the Firecracker, right? Dart Goblin just did some weird headshot fake out, and it worked? I don't even know. Wait, we're back to the Mortar evolution. Yo, he's dead. He's going to pop the Mega Knight. But if he pops Mega Knight, then he gets swarmed by skeletons and he loses. And then we can go for a Mortar because he's down so much elixir. He has to drop Mega Knight on top of the Skeleton King, but he doesn't have elixir. Dude, he went for an Evolved Firecracker to block the Mortar while the Skeleton King was screwing over his tower at the same time. There were two dynamic forces forcing our opponent out of the match, and he had to pick which way he wanted to lose. He stopped the Mortar, so the Skeleton Party thrived on the tower. I don't blame him though. Losing to a flying goblin that's flexing on you is never a good feeling. Yo, we got a game here against someone that I do not know how to pronounce their name. And apparently he's trying to inspire fear in me. You know what? We got the Skeleton King, so we're not scared at all. Not in the slightest. So we're going to go and cross out that aggressive Mortar from our opponent, and we're going to pop through with our Dart Goblin afterward. I think the Dart Goblin's going to die. It's going to get targeted by his Mortar, but maybe it will run away. If it's smart, it runs away. Run away, run away. Yeah, let's go. I calculated that, guys. I said it before it happened. I manifested it. Dart Goblin is a speedy sprinter. I was going to say speedy sprinter, and then I said spreedy. I don't even know what that was saying, guys, but I'm on a Dart Goblin spending spree, maybe. So that's probably why I was doing it. I'm just spamming Dart Goblins like nobody's business. We are darting out of the way. And we are making our opponent pay, even though we're spending 3 elixir. His 4 elixir cost cards are useless. Oh my gosh, give me more. Give me more. I love it. I adore. This is what we need. My Mortar's going to lock out of your tower now. Because your Mortar died. We fireballed on it, and then you drop your skeletons later? What are you doing? I feel like there's sometimes players that are just incredibly desperate. They'll lose their tower or be on the brink of extinction. And they're like, wait, I have to defend. And even though they know that they can't defend in time, they still drop a defensive card because they're like, gotta try it. There has to be an attempt. Never give up, never surrender. But in that type of situation, it's better to surrender the damage because you have to realize that you're not able to do anything. So for instance, right now, I'm not able to defend against this. So I'm going to go and play like this. I'm going to go Dart Goblin on the other side. I'm going to drop our Rascals, and then I'm going to go for bats. Notice how I orchestrated that. If I try to defend and drop our Dart Goblin or Rascals directly on top of the Mortar Evolution, I would have lost the game. because obviously the mortar evolution would splash onto the rascals and it just wouldn't work so well for me. You want to make sure that you recognize when you have to take damage and you accept that damage and you move on. Unlike this guy who just wants to defend everything. We're going to fireball here, and then we will be able to kill the little prince. I think that this is great because now, obviously, you know, the mortar splashing on the tower, giving us that extra hit is cool. I think, you know, we wouldn't have been able to kill that little prince unless it was underleveled, so definitely a cool thing there. But we would have killed the little prince with the mortar. It would just wouldn't have given us that shot. We're going to split up our rascals. I hate doing this, but it is a necessity at this point. And then I'm going to also go for a Skeleton King. I think I can go for a Dart Goblin. I bet you he goes in for a log. I try to make sure that we split up our stuff as much as we can. You know what? Let's go mortar on defense. He's going to poison, interestingly enough. Cool. We can just pop ability. We win this interaction pretty hard. We're not going to lose to the Little Prince. Little Prince Guardian just dies. And then we could go for Evolved Bats if we really want to. Remember, our opponent's in a precarious placement where they kind of have to go for a log. But if they go for a log, they're not able to break through the rascals. Wait, that one skeleton's still alive, though. Dang, dude. Missed me with that skeleton. We're going to go Skeleton King. We're going to have the rascal behind the Skeleton King. And then we can drop a mortar on offense. We do have Evo Bats as well. I'm going to pop the Skeleton King ability because I just don't think he's able to stop this. I'm going all in for the win right now, guys. We are dropping every bit of my elixir. My bank is spent, and hopefully we make a dent. We're going to go for a fireball, finish off the Little Prince, and then if we can just get the mortar on top of the tower, we will win the game. So we're trying to pull the knight really close to Rascal, and the mortar should target on the tower. Perfect. That's what you got to do when you're playing siege stacks, because the siege can't see things that are directly in front of it. It locks onto the tower, allowing you to lock up the win. It's time to dominate our last dude. And hopefully we can wreck someone that's running Elite Barbarians, and maybe he baited me with a banner that's incredibly toxic. But if he's playing those 3 cards, I would be in for a rodeo here for sure. Fortunately for us, we see an Electro Dragon, which is not a card that is very scary. He's going to zap on top of our Dart Goblin. I want to go for the Skeleton King, but I don't want to drop it too soon. Barely keeping the Dart Goblin behind it. Dart Goblin got caught in traffic and unfortunately eventually got caught by the battle healer and sent straight to heaven. He's kind of like an angel that kills things. A little bit scary, a little bit demonic, but it be what it be. We go for a fireball here, and it's also weird to see her wings flutter when she doesn't even need to be because she's kind of walking on the ground almost. Or is it like a very small, like, glide where she can still get bumped into things, but she's not touching the ground. She's not letting the soil defile her feet. Oh man, I don't know. It's a weird thing because she can still get pushed out of the way by other cards. Anyway, we're gonna go in for a mortar here on the right hand side. We know it's gonna be a golem deck. Probably gonna go in. Oh my gosh, there's no way you just drop your golem like that. That is insane. You are the definition of a devious dude, spamming all of your elixir like that. So obviously, we have to go for a Dart Goblin really low. We're going to pop an ability here because we want to take the tower. And he's dropping Little Prince plus ability, probably. No, he doesn't have elixir for the Little Prince ability. This is so good for me. Unfortunately, he does have the Little Prince agility, and he gets in front before the mortar can splash onto the tower. He's going to lock Little Prince instead. All right, what do we do here? If we go Rascals, I think that's generally a bit better so we can keep the Dart Goblin alive. We're dropping the last possible second, so he's prepared to just eat the damage. And then when we drop a card later, then he's like, wait, oh crap, I have to do something. So you surprise people. The Dart Goblin's still alive. I actually thought that the knight was pushed away by the battle healer. Then the battle healer would stop the knight from targeting the Dart Goblin, and the Dart Goblin would stay alive and he'd just lose the game. I totally thought that's what was going to happen. All right, so we're going to go and drop our Skeleton King, Skeleton Army, and then... Ooh, that's an Evo Zap. That's kind of scary. That's a little bit scary. Mom, pick me up. I'm scared. We're also going to drop an ability, so then hopefully we can drop his tower here too. If I fireball on everything, this feels worth it. This feels exceptionally worth it, but we don't hit the Electro Dragon, which was the one card I needed to kill. Okay, if I can go mortar in the middle, maybe we're still able to stop this. Or maybe we just want to go in for the snag in the middle. I think we just go for the straight up snag in the middle. Try to cheese him. So we're going to take the other tower. If possible, that's how we're going to win. We can also fireball here. Oh my gosh, look at him go. He's dropping everything he owns. All right, Skeleton Army should be able to kill everything. Even if he tornadoes, I think I'm okay. All I need to do is kill these stupid battle healers before they heal up everything. Oh my gosh, dude. Wait, this is really exceptionally scary. As long as the Electro Dragon doesn't target my Rascals, we should be fine. But holy heck. Battle healer is healing for days, for months, for years. And that is just insanely despicable to see him try to do that to me. Trying to out-heal my defensive prowess. Anyway, we will eventually be able to power our way through. As you can see, we kind of have our own little gimmicky heal with the evolved bats that don't die to tornado. After defending, everything in our offense fell into place. Our vampire bats and mortar mashed and vanquished our opponent without any problems. Dart the like button if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe for more daily content, and have an amazing rest of your day.